Welcome to Breaking News. I'm Miley, and I will bring you latest news on today. For the past several months, President Donald Trump has been waging a costly trade war with China, which has had no shortage of ill effects on U.S. farmers. The president decided to use millions of American taxpayer dollars to bail them out. But that money may also end up helping Chinese-owned and foreign-owned agricultural companies operating in the U.S. The U.S. Department of Agriculture told the Washington Post this week that a Chinese-owned pork producer that operates in the United States, Smithfield Foods, qualifies for a government bailout check, and so does the Brazilian-owned pork producer called JBS. Both corporations are the two largest pork producers in the country. The Trump administration cut more than $25 million worth of bailout checks to the agriculture industry in September, just a few months after the president announced a $12 billion aid package for U.S. farmers coping with retaliatory tariffs that foreign countries have imposed on their products. But now it's clear that the tax subsidies won't just help U.S. farmers. They'll help their foreign competitors too, and will likely benefit many of the countries Trump is supposedly targeting. The news is the latest twist in the president's trade war with China, which was supposed to help American workers and businesses but have been hurting them instead. Trump's trade war is falling and hurting the U.S. economy, and he doesn't seem to care.
Good morning. Up to 80% of soybeans like these farmed here in Will County are exported to Asia and mostly to China. But the 25% tax or tariff China's imposed on U.S. soybeans like these have driven prices down about $2 per bushel. For a farmer of this size, that means tens of thousands of dollars in losses for a trade war driven by the highest levels of government. This year's soybean crop could be a record harvest for farmer Dave Kestel. How far along are these?
They're further along than they normally would be this time of year.
But he could lose money.
Right now we're looking at beans used to be $10, now they're down to $8. That's a 20% pay cut, basically.
On Tuesday, President Trump asked farmers like Kestel for patience as he tries to renegotiate his tariff-heavy trade policies.
And the farmers will be the biggest beneficiary.
Last month, the president announced steep taxes or tariffs on Chinese goods. China responded with tariffs of their own on American commodities like pork and soybeans, hitting rural agricultural states where support for the president is high. Do you support the president?
I do.
You voted for the president?
Yes, I did.
And do you support these policies which might be hurting farmers like you?
I do, because I do believe long term it'll be better for everyone. But right now, we're the ones that are taking the hit.
To make up for money lost, the $12 billion aid package announced Tuesday would provide farmers with direct financial assistance, purchase their excess produce, and help develop new export markets.
I mean, I understand they're trying to help us. I get that, but it's not a long-term fix. It's a pacifier, so to speak.
Farmers are self-sustaining people. So is this government aid seen as a bailout that you'd rather not have?
Bingo. Yeah, I'd rather not have it.
Trump's protectionist trade agenda ended up hitting American farmers the hardest, with foreign countries levying tens of billions of dollars in retaliatory tariffs on the American agriculture industry. China, Mexico, and Canada have responded to the Trump administration's taxes on imported steel, aluminum, and electronics with taxes on American soybeans, dairy, pork, apples, and potatoes among the American goods. The impact on the U.S. agriculture industry is no joke. Prices for agricultural products, especially soybeans, have dropped to a 10-year low since Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on trade and aluminum earlier this year. And farmers across different markets have grown increasingly nervous about how their businesses will fare if the trade war continues. The stabilization package will use a Depression-era program that allows the government to borrow up to $30 billion from the Treasury without congressional approval, According to the Washington Post, in September, the Agricultural Department sent farmers $25.8 million in aid. It's unclear how many foreign companies operating in the U.S. are also getting some of that cash. Trump has repeatedly stated that his trade policies are meant to target China, which sells way more goods to the United States than it buys from America. Trump's strategy has focused on efforts to cripple the Chinese economy at all costs, while disregarding the impact on the U.S. economy. That includes blasting tariffs on more than $200 billion worth of Chinese goods in the past year, which makes Chinese products more expensive and therefore less appealing to American consumers and businesses. But Beijing has responded with its own tariffs on American goods, and the country has stopped buying as much from U.S. manufacturers, so the trade imbalance between both countries is now worse. In September, America's trade deficit with China reached a new high, $34.1 billion. That's the 13% increase compared to last year. Ford, America's second-largest car company, said in August that Trump's tariffs cost the company $1 billion, and the company now expects massive layoffs. This effect of Trump's trade policies is striking, considering how often he repeated that his goal is to boost U.S. manufacturing. His trade war might help the small U.S. steel industry, but it's hurting nearly every other sector of the U.S. economy. And now, taxpayers are stuck with the bill of Trump's $12 billion bailout. And this story appears in breaking news, a news from us on the latest twist and turns around President Donald Trump. Subscribe and follow us along with more about Trump administration's policy. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the duration of today's program. Thank you for watching.